And so this video is about photoshopping people's pictures to lie on them on social media. And so I've seen a lot of that happen. And primarily I've seen it in the Black community, um, where they'll take like musical artists and they'll take their photos, somebody that knows them or somebody that has like maybe a magazine article, and they'll Photoshop, do something with the pictures or the photographs of these people, and then they'll say that they're gay because they're trying to push an agenda of anti-gay um, uh, bashing is what they're doing. And they're trying to basically they're trying to bash gay people. So what they're doing is too, they're using like people who are famous, or they're using people who like are well known in the music industry, and they'll take their photos, and you don't know if that person what their personal life is like unless they come out and say who they are or whom they are. Like now, some people have honestly come out and say who they are, but others keep their life pretty much private, and I don't blame them. But I believe that, just for an example, like right here, Channel 10's marriage equality Photoshop failed. And so what they do is they've been caught in a case of what is really fake news, as the same-sex marriage debate takes a turn, a disturbing one, rather. And so this was at a sign here at a bus bench. So when does a tweet become fake news? So marriage equality debate took its most emotive turn yet last week when a poster allegedly seen in Melbourne laneway sparked a vehement "I told you so" from the Yes campaign. So an image of an offensive poster allegedly spotted in Heffernan Lane went viral after it was tweeted by a Dan Leitch, I think it's a Leitch McGill, prompting media reports that the poster were plastered all over Melbourne. So the sign urged Australians to stop the I don't even like to say it, but now this is not coming from me, this is coming from what the poster has. I'll show you what the poster says. Okay, so I'm just merely reading. So it says stop the fags, and claim that 92% of the children are raised by gay parents are abused, 51% have depression, and 71% are obese. Statistics drawn from research which has been debunked. Okay, and so this is somebody that's on a hateful plot because they just hate people that are in the LGBTQ community. So they have a plot, an agenda as well. And so they always like to say that, you know, the LGBTQ community, they have an agenda. Well, guess what? The people who are not, you know, they're not being honest, or they're insecure about their own sexuality, or they themselves are gay and fighting it and fighting against it. They don't like to see other people be who they are, or they're just somebody that's just extremely hateful. Maybe they aren't gay and they're just extremely hateful, and they've been doing this stuff and posting these signs around to try to push their agenda of hatred. So, but it has emerged that Mr. Leitch McGill had not personally viewed the poster, which was sent to him by an unnamed friend, and the attempts by the journalist and the city of Melbourne to track one down came to naught. So now Channel 10 has, and I guess this is in Australia, so Channel 10 has admitted to the cardinal sin of journalism, photoshopping an image of a poster on a stock image of a bus stop in Europe to use in its television coverage of an issue. So the poster in question had been taken down when the film crew visited the laneway in question. So we were forced to source a copy online, a spokeswoman for the network said in a statement. Unfortunately, an oversight in briefing our graphics department, Interstates, may have created a false impression about its size and location. So this was not a deliberate attempt to mislead our audience, but a creative error, which we regret. The poster, which depicts a child cowering below two people brandishing rainbow belts, listed statistics from a widely discredited study on children raised by same-sex couples or parents. It has been traced back to a message board of neo-Nazi website. So that's where it originally had came from. And so they pushed this agenda to be hateful and mean towards the LGBTQ community, and also people who, even if they're not with neo-Nazi, there are also people that in certain groups and communities that push hatred against LGBTQ community people. So this is a type of hateful and inaccurate material that the LGBTI community warned would be publicized during any kind of plebiscite on marriage equality. So Victorian Human Rights Commissioner Kristen Hilton said last week, dubbing the poster a clear sign of a respectful debate will be difficult during the plebiscite's campaign. So Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull refused to ban such posters when he was grilled by the two-day FM host E.M. Rusciano and Haley Brin, saying that while the signs were hurtful, they were part of a democratic debate. So you're going to see a lot of stuff like this on social media all over the place, even by people who just don't like people who are different than them or have different points of views. They will Photoshop photos, take pictures of people or things that they found out of a magazine or wherever they can pull it up from, and they will alter the pictures. And so I've seen, even in the Black community, I've seen like photos of rappers, and they'll like put a purse or they'll put earrings, you know, like long dangling earrings on a guy, lipstick, that stuff. You got to question, is it real or is it Photoshopped? I've even seen where they'll do something to the person's hair to make it look like they had curls or something like that, like a woman's hairstyle. And a lot of that is an agenda that's pushed to the populations who are driven to that, so that they can be more aggressive and more vicious towards that group, because they say, see, I told you so. See, I knew he was like that, and I knew he's like that. So there's like a shitload of videos that have a bunch of rappers, and they have this agenda where they want to push that all these rappers are gay, all these rappers, and you don't really know the lives of these rappers. You really don't know anything. The ones that are doing this, they really don't have a lot of connection with these. Or if you actually have a lot of it is just like, lies. Or it's false. It's like a fake, photos that have been altered to push agendas. So that's the way I receive it. There's also a lot of videos where they say something to appeal to you, and you click on it, and then they'll say something. Say like, I have seen some videos where, if they don't like, let's say the topic is they really don't like women and they don't like women of color, they'll say something based on what a woman of color is enticed to look at on a social media. And you see it looks attractive, and you click on it, and then all of a sudden they blare at you all this hate about how Black women destroyed the community, Black women didn't do this, or Black women didn't that, where they show something about, oh, you have to fix your weave, or look what weaves do to your head, and then you click on it, and then it turns up to be one of these guys, and it's usually like an African American guy who, he could be the darkest one, but he's spewing the most hate towards his own culture. And I don't even want to say the name of this individual, but there's one in particular that does that constantly. He goes under different, he has like millions of videos, and he goes under different names, different logos, and he has you to click on it. And so the same thing happens too with these videos of people bashing gay people. And so what they do is they'll say something that's a topic that it would intrigue you, and you click on it, and then boom, there they go with the, belittling people that are in the LGBTQ community. So it says opposition leader Bill Shorten responded on Facebook, writing that this kind of garbage isn't debate, it's abuse. I'm sorry that the LGBTQ community, as what we call it, and they say LGBTI Australians, have to put up with it. Let's make sure there is an overwhelming yes vote in response. So the second poster cited in Melbourne, confusion over the origin of Hefner Lane poster, rather, and whether any more existed, has led to the accusations that it may have been printed off by a member of the Yes lobby in an obscene attempt to prove that the plebiscite campaign could not be conducted respectfully. So that's pretty much. But the identity of the person that posted the laneway has not been established, and whatever its origin, it is not the only example of an offensive campaign material. So here's something right here, that's very offensive. As you see right here, it's extremely offensive, and they show a child, and so it has a statement underneath. Gay couple Philia, stop the, I don't want to even say it because it's so hateful and disrespectful. And then underneath you see somebody saying more fraudulent debate, peddling vicious libel against my community. Every word is a lie. Okay, so the neo-Nazi group Anti-Podium Resistance has claimed responsibility for the second equality disturbing poster. So sometimes these things come from groups that are already centered around hate. And so they don't only dislike LGBTQ people, they also dislike Blacks. And so that's what some of the Black community fails to realize, that when you push hate, if you're pushing hate, you're actually not doing yourself any good. You're doing a disservice to yourselves. And so you're really pushing the same types of hate that you don't want on you against someone else. And so it doesn't make it right. And so that's why, of all people, we should not even be doing any of this. And so I know I don't, but I have seen some that have. So the neo-Nazi group that's involved in this, they claim the responsibility. They want you to know that they had a responsibility in this. So it says they're claiming that gay marriage enables pedophilia. So this is where all of this is coming from. These notions that people come up with, a lot of it comes from the very people that don't like you. They don't even like you either. So Melbourne woman Alice Berkeley told BuzzFeed News she had spotted the poster at a tram stop outside the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology, while publication reported that it had been sent several shots of the new poster seen in Melbourne, multiple sources say. And so an offensive leaflet that went out. These have been doing the rounds of Sydney, South, and Inner West, making a number of outrageous claims in the broken English and Chinese. So they do it in English and in Chinese. So they make sure that when they send these leaflets out and these things all over social media, that they do it in enough languages so that they get the word out to all the different groups and populations of people that they can. And so people see that, and then they start resharing and resharing and resharing this stuff. And then pretty much what happens, you have a circle of people, one person tells one person a secret or something in the ear. By the time it gets around to the 10th person, that thing that person told them is not even the truth, and it's not even what was intended. And so that's how fast a lie or a misconception can spread. So it's the same thing too as when you have people that will take a photo of something and they start adding all their input in it, altering the photo. And by the time that photo gets around, it's so confusing, and then it has so many lies in it, such as this one. And it makes people afraid of people and think that, oh, okay, that's what these people stand for, when you clearly know that in order for this people to be pedophiles, I can look it up. Let me look it up right here. You, you know, most of those people, oops, it says pedophilia is a psychiatric disorder and to prepubescent children. And so basically, they say the vast majority of pedophiles usually are male, but the amount of female pedophiles is still much harder to evaluate given that their deviancy can find outlets. So it has nothing to do with being gay in here. It doesn't say anything about being gay. It's you can be like a regular guy, but you have some kind of problem where you're attracted to children. That's the stage. Um, you could also say the same for 11 and all that. So here it goes into it. It says, although girls typically begin to process of the process of puberty at age 10 or 11, boys are at 11 or 12. Criteria for pedophile extend and cutoff point are prepubescent to age 13. So a person who is diagnosed with pedophilia must be at least 16 years old and at least 5 years older than the prepubescent child, or the attraction to be diagnosed as pedophilia. So pedophilia is termed a pedophilic disorder, and it goes into involving intense recurrent sexual urges towards and fantasies toward prepubescent children, which cause the person with an attraction to stress and interpersonal difficulty, of course. And usually those people like to live by schools. They like to wait for the kids to get out of school and stuff like that. Has nothing, doesn't say anything about being gay. And so they push these lies so that you can hate certain people, so you can go on this hate rampage. And so that's pretty much that article right there. So it says the number of victims being raped in public female changing rooms and bathrooms in those countries has passed the same-sex marriage legislation is a stunning fact to all. Okay. Homosexuality it's saying here that an offensive leaflet that went out has been doing the rounds. Okay, so it says it's in English and Chinese. Homosexuality is a tragedy of a family, a grave to the family bloodline, a curse to family sonlessness. The leaflet, that's what it reads. So I'm going to read this part again. I already read it, but the number of victims being raped in public female changing rooms and bathrooms in those countries that has passed the same-sex marriage legislation is a stunning fact to all. Okay. And so this right here, it's crazy because somebody is putting all this stuff out, and I'm sure they put it on Facebook, they put it on all these different, different places, and they put it in the languages that you can understand, and it's coming from what they say is it's traced back to the neo-Nazi website. And so here's what you need to know about the anti-gay neo-Nazi poster everyone's talking about. And so they talk about it extensively. And so the poster is originating from a neo-Nazi website. And so that's where all of this comes from. It says that it's on Twitter, Dan Leach, and so that's basically the same, it's talking about the same issues, but it's letting you know about where it comes from. And so a lot of this stuff has been altered, it's been changed, and some of the same people that are pushing this are pushing it on, they're pushing it in the Black communities, and they're putting it out there. And what they're doing is trying to persuade you because they have their own agenda. But you know what? They don't like you either. They don't like you either. And you best believe they don't only got posters of bashing gay people, they have posters of bashing Blacks as criminals and what have you. And so the same thing is being pushed, but it's being pushed in terms of what race you are. And so you best believe they have a website that's all centered around how they hate people of color. And so you just aren't seeing those who also, leaflets, things that can try to distract you or either persuade you to vote for certain people or not vote for certain people. They put those leaflets out as well because, you got people who will even attend your churches and they will pretend like they like you and they want to help your community. And then as soon as you elect them, they're not doing anything for you and people that look like you. They're doing everything to go against your community or take money away from or not put money in your community. They're not helping you. So I just thought this is something that maybe needed to be known. But if I go past this here, even as simple as being Photoshopped on other levels, other issues, there's 10 busted. I could just look at this right here. Channel 10 busted photoshopping anti-gay marriage poster. That was the one I went through. Mike Pence tangles with Olympian Adam Rippon over gay rights. And that was the Olympian. So also, there was that incident with Chick-fil-A. And then Pence supports conversion therapy, which is crocodile. And then you have all these issues that will come up where you have these different groups that are trying to put out different statements and different things to try to hate on other people. Here's the thing. If you don't like something, if you don't live a certain way, or if you have different beliefs, you want people to respect you, you need to learn how to respect other people. That's what I would say. If you want people to respect you because you're a Christian, then show the same respect for somebody who's gay. If you want people to respect you and because you're Black and you're a working taxpayer, then respect other people. Call them out. Of course, if you see somebody's doing something because it's based race-based hate. But know this: if you're just doing this, I heard a video, somebody's like, I don't think Meghan Markle looks Black. Well, there's a lot of Black people that don't look Black. Just because you look Black doesn't mean that's all you are. And so this is the thing that may not sit well with the Black community, this video here that I'm doing, because everybody wants to agree on the same issues and they don't. And so I'm just basically being honest. Not everybody agrees on the same issues. Not everybody has the same beliefs. Not everybody lives their life the same way. Here's the deal. If I'm not gay, I'm not gay. Case in point. If I am, I am. Case in point. But I'm not going to be disrespectful to someone just because they're gay, because I'm not gay. I'm not going to seek out posters and that's not who's in my house. Then what am I worried about? They're not going to come around and somehow magically touch me and make me that way. They're not going to, in my sleep, all of a sudden, I've magically turned gay because I dislike those people. And all of a sudden, somebody infiltrated my body. And now all of a sudden, I got to worry about gayness. So this is where all this hate is coming from. It just seems really childish and ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. So it's the same thing. It's like, You know, you wouldn't want certain white people to say, "Oh, all by the sudden, I'm worried that I'm gonna turn black." I'm worried, although I believe some people are worried. They don't wanna dig back in their family tree to find out they do have somebody in their family that happens to be black, maybe many people. And then with the way history is dealt us, you know, nobody should be talking about, "Oh, I'm only this and I'm only that," and I've said that in other videos, but what I'm saying is I think it's all the whole thing is really crazy and ridiculous. If you're not that way, you're not that way, fine. But don't be persuaded by these leaflets and posters that you see on social media because a lot of them are pushing their agenda as well. That is what they're doing. And so the crazy part about it, here's the thing. Now, this might be far of stretch. You got black people saying that they're religious and they're Christians, certain ones. I'm not saying it's everyone. Yet the very persons that actually you hear all the apostles, the pictures on their wall are white people, nobody's black, everybody they were taught about was supposedly white, and then they got all this anger about white folks, but yet they're saying they're Christian, and then the very white people that come on social media and tell you this religion was really to help enslave you, they won't even listen to that. You got white people that are more woke than some of the black folks that are saying that this religion that you believe in, that our people created, it was basically to keep you enslaved mentally. And it has worked. It's worked so much to a charm that even till this day, they can't let it go. They can't put it away and move on to something else or revamp all of that energy into spirituality or into something else that is going to be beneficial to your community and to your people. Here you got preachers all over the place that have swindled you out of your money, haven't put money back into the community. They don't help your people. They look like you. They talk the good talk and they drive fancy cars and wear fancy clothes and they build these big fancy buildings, but yet you don't see any help to your community. More money is taken out of the community than being put into the community, into the schools. And then you get mad at white people when you have some black people who have money who won't even help their own people. Answer that question. And so this is the reason why we stay stuck in the same situation over and over and over again. Then we blame it on, oh, the Zionists, and then we try to throw religion in there we got to point fingers and find blame when some of the blame is not that far off. It's right in your own backyard. It's the very churches that you've been attending. They claim they're there to help and they're not doing anything. Whenever there's a problem, they're not even helping you. You might have to go to a white church to get the money to pay your rent because you can't get it from the black church because they are taking more of your money away rather than giving it to you to help you. And so I'm saying something that might not sit well with people, but it is the honest truth. And then half of those people don't even live the way they claim they say they are. They say, oh, I'm religious. They can quote all these scriptures, but their lives are full of crap and drama. They're the first ones that can tell you who shot Jimmy across the street. And this is what happens. And then if you're in distress or you're hurt or something's happening, we don't stick up for one another as black people. You don't see that. But we sure will run behind the coattails of white folks and do all of their bidding and get on social media and talk all that mess and then put our own people down. We become like roaring lions to our own people that look like us, like a roaring lion, like we're going to kick ass. But when we get around white people, we're scared to speak out, scared to stand up for ourselves. And so I'm just being honest. And then we want to bash people who they might have had some kind of problem, something happened to them, or maybe they just are different. They have a different way of viewing life and we disagree with it and we want to jump all over people for that. It's wrong. Yeah, I'm saying it's wrong. It's wrong. The only thing I think that we should really be really concerned about is if people are making it hard for you to live somewhere, making it hard for you to get an education. They're making it hard for you to have the same rights in the justice system as other people that aren't of color. They're making it difficult for you to vote because they're persuading you and putting all these hidden agendas on social media to block you from voting for the people that might help your community. And then you have people who they claim that they're so religious. And then that same individual, you see him out there fighting and beating up people and doing stuff to people. And guess who those people are? The same as them, in the same neighborhood, living right next door to them, or they're in the same community. They're trying to go to work. They're struggling just like the next family. And they're fighting for the bottom, basically. And so this is what you see happening. This is what happens in the Black community, and nobody talks about it. Or they're fighting for a man who he doesn't want to be serious about one individual. He's got a bunch of girlfriends, but she's fighting. She's fighting for somebody who he's not even, soon as her back is turned, he's in the next bed sleeping with somebody next door. And they don't even go far away and find somebody somewhere way off. No, that person that he's cheating with lives down the street from you. But we won't say anything about that. We try to hide it. And so this is the kind of stuff you will fight tooth and nail to protest. Oh, gay people, we got to get rid of those people. And like they did, it's like they stole money out of your wallet, stole money out of your account. And those people, you don't even probably live near anybody. And if you do live near them, they're not even looking at you. So this is the kind of stuff, it's irritating, but I just had to say my piece on that. I know some people, maybe they want to come up with all these excuses and stuff like that, but this is the thing. Most people have somebody in their family that is gay. There's somebody somewhere. And then maybe the reason why they haven't revealed themselves is because the way you act. They're afraid. You know, they go somewhere, and then some people know they've got somebody. They're just, not willing to admit it. And there are some people who are accepting. Some people can be neutral, and they're not crazy. And then others who just don't have any excuse. It's just blatant hate. That's basically what it is. But with this being said here you got all these different reasons. People will get online, they will Photoshop photos, they will lie on people. Lie on people so they can push their agenda. And so this is the thing. If you don't like somebody for what it is or the belief of what they have or whatever, then don't say anything. Just don't be around them, man. Don't be around them. Don't worry about it. If you're not that way, don't worry about it. That's the way I look at it. But why do you have to be so mean to people who you are unaffected by? If they get married, then they get to see what kind of drama happens with marriage. Because hey, from what I've seen in the heterosexual world with regular people that are of the opposite sex, it ain't all that. That's what I'm just saying from my perspective. So it's got to be the same with the gay world. I'm sure they're going to meet the same fate. Some marriages will be successful, while others, they'll be like, oh, no, I got to get out of this. I got to get out of this, So it ain't all what it's cracked up to be. Some people can handle marriage and just others just can't, I remember seeing something where this guy, he was gay, and he was at this little ball or something. And when they started passing the gay marriage equality thing, he said, this guy said, he was gay, but he said he ain't getting married. So he must have had some experiences. And even as me, I'm a Black female, and I know what it's like being in relationships with people. Say it's not always easy. It's not. You think, people make, like I said, I've done videos where they're obsessed with marriage. Obsessed with it. I mean, it's different all over the world. Everybody has different ceremonies and stuff and ways they perform the ceremonies and what they believe in. But, it's not all that. I hate to burst some people's bubbles. I mean, some people, I believe they are equipped for it. I will say that in defense of people who are for, love and all that kind of stuff. Some people are equipped for it. I just think some people aren't. Some people are, or they just haven't met the person that they should end up with. You know, they just haven't met the right individual, and it takes time. Sometimes people are not. It's really not meant for everybody to be hooked up with somebody. So maybe they do better just being in a like a mutual like a relationship where they're boyfriend girlfriend or whatever, girlfriend girlfriend whatever, boyfriend, however you want to say, or friend or whatever, as long as you respect one another and everybody's safe. But like I've said for myself, I'm not afraid to say it. I don't know if I'm in the categorized in the LGBTQ. I'm asexual. I believe I am. Where if you look that up, I'm not really desiring to be in a relationship that heavily. There's been times, but I'm not wanting to be involved with anybody really. And I don't think there's anything wrong with me. If somebody else was like, how come you don't want to be with somebody? But I just don't. I just don't. Some people don't like that. They don't like hearing, oh, she doesn't want to be with anybody. She thinks it's too good and all this kind of stuff. So, well, I guess I will cut this video to a close. But as far as I'm concerned, I think a lot of those things that are on social media that I've been seeing some pictures of rappers where they stick a purse on the side and put some lipstick on them and stuff. I don't believe that that person did that. I believe somebody else altered the photo to make it look like he's got lipstick and stuff on him. I've seen them do that with 50 Cent. I've seen them do that with some of the rappers on certain, and whoever's doing this, they're extremely creative in what they do. They can make you believe that that photo is that person, but that person is not wearing the lip. They didn't put the lipstick on them. Somebody they photoshopped that image, and you can do a lot of stuff with people's photos nowadays. You can make people with long hair, short hair, change their face, make them look thinner in the waist, heavier, skinny, everything. So be careful that some of these people and where these flyers and all this stuff is coming from, because a lot of it is coming from the neo-Nazi groups and alt-right. And those groups don't like black folks either. And black people like applauding the pictures. Yeah, I knew he was like that. And the picture's not even telling the truth. Not telling the truth. And they believe it. They want to believe the lie before they believe the truth. Well, with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for listening.